Hi, I'm Dr. Caroline Leaf, and welcome to my podcast, Cleaning Up the Mental Mess. Well, today I'm going to talk about how to use my mind management system called the Neurocycle to help navigate feelings of regret for things that maybe you did or said or whatever last year. So I'm going to use myself as an example and then just walk you through a simple example so that you can help yourself. And then maybe you'd like to join us on our brain-mind detox challenge that we're doing with my Neurocycle app that is running through till the 24th of March this year. But you can jump on at any stage and do the 63-day challenge. The Neurocycle works over 63 days. It takes 63 days to rewire networks in your brain. So you can jump on anytime and go 63 days from when you jump on, and you get weekly check-ins from myself. There's also a discount code, so you can join the detox. Okay, back to today's podcast. How to use a Neurocycle to navigate feelings of regret for things that have happened last year. So going into the new year, I don't know if you do this, but I know I do, and I know a lot of people have sent in questions about this and comments about this. But like, we have these things we do and then we regret them, and we get kind of frustrated with ourselves. And sometimes that frustration can lead to us continuing to do what we regretted we were doing in the first place. Like, we get into this negative cycle. So how can we break that, and how can we deal with those regrets that they don't continue being a cycle in our life or hold us back from what we want to do in this next year coming up? So I'm going to talk about myself as an example and then apply it with the Neurocycle, and then you can use that as an example to help yourself. So one of the things that I really regret from last year is missing things. I got so busy at times that I found myself tuning out and missing little details that actually ended up costing me time, mistakes, relationship things. And I noticed it increasing as the year went along. And then something happened like really quite towards the end of the year that was quite significant. And I missed a detail that wasted so much time in terms of my time. And obviously I learned from that and whatever. But I don't want to do that again, because I remember when the last incident happened where I missed something that was so obvious that how could I miss it? And I got so mad at myself. How could I miss this? I wasted so much time. I decided, okay, I don't want to do this anymore, because I caught myself spending way too much time getting extremely frustrated, regretting that situation. And so what it was a text that I had in this particular incident was a text that I just didn't see. And then something came up that I had to do something. But it would have been a lot easier if I had seen that text. But I didn't see the text, and somehow I just didn't put two and two together. But at the back of my mind, there was this like nagging thing that I'm sure somewhere there was a text or something. There was something at the back of my mind that was kind of prompting me, and that's the non-conscious. My non-conscious was prompting me to slow down and pay attention and tune into what was nagging me and all the emotions and behaviors and bodily sensations and perspectives that went along with that, and just to slow down and pay attention. And then I would have been prompted, and I would have found that text, and it would have made what I was doing so much easier and saved so much time and hassle and etc., etc. And so I didn't do that. And once I had gone through the mistake that I made by not paying attention, and I saw the time I wasted, I decided, okay, that is something I do not want to take into 2023. So I did a Neurocycle. And the first thing I did was I gathered awareness of my 4 signals: the frustration I felt around the incident, the frustration that led to a lot of irritation. So my emotions were frustration and irritation. And then I looked at my behaviors where I got like short-tempered, a bit irritable. It affected my creativity. I wasted a lot of time if onlying and should have, could have, would have. And then I found that my body was very tense. I could feel my shoulders very tense. I was also quite snappy with my loved ones, my husband especially. And then my perspective was this is such a waste of time. I've wasted time, and I hate wasting time. And I've even done neurocycles on this on my podcast about time's never actually wasted. Time is always lessons learned. But at that moment, I forgot all of that. So I took the time to stop, and I gathered awareness of those 4 signals. Then I took those 4 signals and I put them into a statement. I'm feeling like this about this incident. Why? And I asked myself why, which is the reflect. And in the reflect, I suddenly remembered where I had that nagging feeling, and the text that I had seen or the email. There was something that if I had paid attention, it would have given me the information I needed not to make the mess that I did of the situation. And so by focusing on those signals and asking myself why, so stopping everything, focusing on those 4 signals, asking myself why, I calmed down and got into a mental space where I could actually remember what was that nagging feeling? Why did I have that nagging feeling? And then I remembered what it was, and it was actually a text that I had missed. So my action was, you missed a text, and this is why I wrote everything down. So the 3rd step of the Neurocycle is to write down what you gathered awareness of and what you reflected on and the insight that you're gaining. And then my action, my next step, which was my recheck, was, okay, well, if you missed a text, what was that text? How was it related? Oh, it was something about something. Was it a text? Was it an email? So in my 4th step, I dug a little deeper, asked myself some more questions, remembered it was a text, grabbed my phone, scrolled back through a lot of texts, found the text, wrote the text down. This is still part of my recheck, and reconceptualized. Okay, well, that was the text. If I had calmed down enough to listen to my warning signals, I would have seen that. And then that possibly would have played out, but I didn't. This is what played out. Now, what am I going to do about this? Am I going to keep on getting frustrated, or am I going to learn from the situation and realize that, why did I miss that text in the first place? Cast my mind back. I did that. I asked that question. I cast my mind back to that time frame, and I realized that that wasn't the first time that I had missed something, that I had missed a conversation, a text, an email that had actually inhibited something that I was doing. So I realized at that point, as I was in the recheck reconceptualization, that I spent way too much time getting too busy. And in being too busy, I had started getting very rushed and missing little details. So I wanted to slow down so that I wouldn't miss details. So my reconceptualization, as I did, this is the impact. It was very frustrating. It was like an accumulation, but I'm not going to do that again. I'm going to slow down the speed at which I do things. I'm going to actually go back to making lists, planning the day more accurately, not trying to squash so much stuff in, and also make sure that when I get that nagging feeling, that no matter what I'm doing, that I'll stop everything, pay attention to that nagging feeling, go through my little neurocycle to see what that nagging feeling was and do something about it. So that was my recheck. I did all of that talking that I've just said, just summarize it now. And then my action was, okay, I'm actually not just going to talk about doing this. I'm actually going to build this into my daily functioning. And now, since the beginning of the year, I have a popping up on my Neurocycle app on my phone. I have a little active reach reminder that says, slow down so you don't miss anything. Slow down so you don't miss anything. So that pops up, and I know when I see slow down so you don't miss anything, it reminds me of this incident that led to a lot of regret, and I slow down and I start listening and tuning in much deeper. So it's helping me deal with the regret of missing things, which led to a lot of other problems. Now, that may seem like a silly example, but and there's big things too that you can do this for. But anything that you regret, going through that process of the Neurocycle, and then getting an active reach and actually building that in as a lifestyle pattern, which pops up on my screen, and I apply it on a daily basis. I see it and it reminds me. Not every day do I need it, but it's there reminding me that when I do get too busy and I do miss things that make me get into a sense of regret, I know what to do. I can quickly get out of that, learn from the lesson, and move forward more quickly. So I hope that helps you. And if you want to know more about the Neurocycle, as I said, you can get my Neurocycle app. I also have my book, Cleaning Up Your Mental Mess. And join us for the Mind Brain Detox Challenge. It's amazing when you work in an accountable way with a whole group of people, and you with weekly check-ins for accountability and just motivation, how you can retrain your mind to retrain your brain. Neuroplasticity is happening regardless. Your brain is always changing regardless. But if I, for example, didn't catch that regret and didn't train myself through the Neurocycle to slow down enough to pay attention to those nagging feelings that are telling me that I'm missing something, like the text or the conversation or something, I would be in a worse way this year, because I would have developed a bad habit of continuing to miss things, increasing my frustration level, slowing down my creativity, and all of that creates chronic stress. And chronic stress is not good for your mental or physical health. So I'm always looking for ways to manage my mental and physical health. And these little things, these little regrets that get us frustrated and keep us in a state of frustration, which is what it was doing to me, I know is not good for me. So I've got that under control, so it's helping me. So that's what I want to do for you. I want to be able to help you with the big stuff and the little stuff. And that regret can be like that mosquito bite that just keeps biting, but you can get it under control. So thanks for joining me, and I hope that this is going to help you grab those feelings of regret and move into this year in a more constructive and positive way. Bye-bye, everyone.